Hey everyone, welcome back. This is your second stimulus payment update for Thursday, July 2nd. A lot to talk about today. Trump was on Fox Business yesterday, in which it looked like he actually said that he wants to pay the American people more than $1,200 in the next direct payment. I'm going to show you that clip and tell you exactly what I think he was saying. Also, the June job numbers just came out. I want to tell you what they look like and what that means. And I've changed the chart all around. But first, let's go ahead and look at what Trump said about more direct payments to the American people.
Mr. President, thank you for talking to Fox Business. We appreciate it. A lot to get to. Let me start with phase 4 and what might potentially come later this month. Another round of direct payments for individuals. Do you support that at this time?
I do. I support it, but it has to be done properly, and I support actually larger numbers than the Democrats, but it's got to be done properly. We had something where where it gave you a disincentive to work last time, and it was still money going to people and helping people, so I was all for that, but we want to create a very great incentive to work. So we're working on that, and I'm sure we'll all come together.
Okay, I'm just going to stop it right there real quick. So I'm not going to share all my thoughts yet because there's going to be a clarifying question coming up. But he says, I want it done properly. So he's talking about more payments to the American people. He says, yes, he supports it fully and totally, but he wants it done properly. Last time, there was a disincentive to work. He seems a little confused here on what he's talking about. Is it direct payments to the American people? Is he talking about the unemployment boost? And actually, when you watch the reporter's follow-up question, he's thinking the same thing. Because as I'm watching this, that's what I'm thinking. Like, are we talking about the same thing here? Do we know what we're talking about here? And I love this reporter, by the way, did a wonderful job in comparison to the last reporter we saw, who was like Jokey Jokenstein, sort of strange reporter. Didn't like him very much. This guy, very professional, very nice follow-up question here. And then after this follow-up question, I'm going to tell you what Trump means about more direct payments here.
You want the direct payments larger or the uninsurance benefits larger?
I want the money getting to people to be larger so they can spend it. I want the money to get there quick.
Okay, hold on. Direct payments or the unemployment insurance, he wants the money getting to people to be larger. Notice that he's not saying that. If he wanted to say direct payments to the American people, he could have said that, but he chose not to. What he chose to say was he wants the money getting to the people to be larger. So what is Donald Trump talking about? Is he talking about more than $1,200 a month payment? He's saying he wants it to be bigger and better than the Democrats' plan, which is basically $1,200 one-time payment to the American people. I think what Donald Trump is talking about here when he says he wants to get more money to the American people, I don't think he's talking about direct payment. I don't think he's talking about more than $1,200 payment. I think he's talking about a payroll tax cut. So what he's saying is we can get more money to the American people in an easier and more efficient way. I think in his mind, he's thinking if people make $1,000 a week, they're going to get an extra $307 or so more a month in their paycheck. If they only make $500 a week, then they're going to get an extra $150 or so a month more in their paycheck. And we can get them that money month to month to month to month, maybe even for an entire year. And when you add up those kinds of numbers, it equals more than $1,200. If you want to do the payroll tax cut, fine. I don't necessarily think it's the greatest idea. However, it should really be on top of the one-time $1,200 payment. This is my thoughts on what he's saying. In the next few weeks, we'll see if this is accurate or not, or if he's really talking about more than a $1,200 payment to the American people. But I don't get that sense, especially based off of the words that he was using. I want to get more money to the American people. He didn't say direct payment. And I think he did that on purpose. We're going to continue forward because he actually has more to say, and he's going to talk about the unemployment boost here too. So let's go forward.
And in a non-complicated fashion. And they wanted to make it too complicated. Also, it was an incentive not to go to work. You'd make more money if you don't go to work. That's not what the country's all about. And people didn't want that. They wanted to go to work, but it didn't make sense because they make more money if they didn't. And we had some of that, and so we don't want to have that. We want to have people get out, and we want to create a tremendous incentive for people to want to go back to work.
On that end,
notice the reporter's follow-up question here. Beautiful follow-up question. Because Trump is talking about this incentive to not go to work. He's clearly talking about the unemployment boost, which is completely necessary. And we don't want to do that too much, but you have to have the unemployment boost. You can't have 20 to 40 million Americans, and even more than that at certain times, not having a job, and then not giving them, by the power of the government doing it, the government forcing it to happen, and then not giving them an unemployment boost. You have to do that. So now he's talking about we don't want to incentivize people not to work. Are you talking about stopping the unemployment boost? The reporter's follow-up question is perfect. This is how a reporter should do it.
Insurance benefits. Mitch McConnell yesterday signaled his support for an extension, the $600 figure. Do you agree with that number? Do you think it should be less?
We're getting together. We're going to meet tonight, and we're going to make a determination, but it's going to be a good number, a substantial number. People are going to be very happy. One thing that's happening.
Okay, so he's following up here, and the reporter's really talking about the unemployment boost here. And he says, is that number going to be larger? Is it going to be bigger? And Donald Trump is basically saying, listen, we're going to get together on this and we're going to come out with a number everyone's going to like. So what that means to me is the unemployment boost is going to continue. It's probably not going to be $600. That's what we've been telling you guys all along, but it's going to continue forward and probably be somewhere in the range of $200 to $400 a month, probably through August, September, October. I don't know how long exactly they're going to do it, but it definitely seems like it's going to move forward, and it really has to. You can't not continue the unemployment boosts. Economically, it would be a disaster. So those are my thoughts on Trump. I think I'm fairly accurate on what he's saying, but we'll see in the next few weeks. Next, I want to share with you what the June jobs report looked like. It just came out this morning, and this is what it said. By the way, I've been telling you these are important numbers for a while because the Congress people, especially those in the Senate, are going to use these numbers to craft the next stimulus bill. Not all of them, a couple of them, and there's more important figures than this right now. But in June, based off of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. economy added 4.8 million jobs. Now, what's really going on with this is tens of millions of jobs were lost. These are just jobs that are coming back. So a lot of people are reporting this as the U.S. economy created 4.8 million jobs. I think that's a misclassification. We didn't create those jobs. We just added them back. But it is a significant number. 4.8 million jobs have come back, but we could see that because states were reopening. That, by the way, has since slowed as they were taking the survey. Overall, the U.S. economy is down nearly 14.7 million jobs since February right now. So that number was much higher. It's down to 14.7 million jobs, which is still a very high number. Unemployment is now down to 11.1%. So it is going further and further down. There is a little bit of a classification issue right now, and you're going to see this reported on certain news media sites, and other news media sites aren't going to report this. I'm just going to give you what it is. They are classifying many individuals as employed not to work rather than unemployed on temporary layoff. If you reclassify people, then the unemployment is actually 12.3%. If you want to be fair, unemployment is between 11.1% and 12.3% right now. Yes, there are other issues you can put into play, like people who are no longer looking for jobs and other things like that. But guys, they do that every time. However, these good numbers are not the full economic picture right now because there's a lot more going on. We have rising coronavirus numbers. We have many jobs that are now being shut down for the second time. We also have schools that'll probably not reopen in many places in September and probably reopen in some places in September. There's all kinds of uncertainty going on. We have Jerome Powell and other individuals in high places saying we need more stimulus for the American people. So there's a lot of things that are happening. How does this affect the chart? I'm going to go ahead and throw up the entire thing for you. The payout timeline, I'm going to go through that in just a second, but I'm just going to do it in chart form for you guys. You can see I have unemployment boost. I believe there's a 99% chance they're going to continue the unemployment boost. In my opinion, I think it's going to go to about $200 to $400 per week boost rather than the $600 current boost. The $1,200 direct payment to the American people, I have this at 65% 99% chance of now occurring. This is going to all qualifying Americans, which would include Social Security, dependents, SSI, survivors, veterans, and all those making under a qualifying amount of money. I believe that the unemployment boost will happen and the direct $1,200 payment will happen. But now I have this payroll tax cut on there. So here's an example. If you make $500 per week, that would be an extra $154 per month in your paycheck. I have this at a 50-50 shot of happening. I think Donald Trump likes this, and I think Larry Kudlow likes this. I don't think many other people actually like this, but he is the president of the United States of America, and he is kind of getting these whispers in his ear. You need to incentivize people to go back to work. We want to get money to the American people, and we want to incentivize them to work. Put the two together, payroll tax cut. I don't really think it stimulates the economy. I don't even think many people are going to even notice it's in there. I also think it benefits those who make a lot of money more than those who make less money. If you only make $200 per week, this is barely anything. It's going to be like a $70 or $80 more per month. You're not even going to notice it, but he likes it. So there's your payroll tax cut. Heroes pay, I have that at 35%. That's going to be money that's going to be given out to certain individuals if they're in a particular job that has been deemed by the Congress as sort of a hazardous job and they continue to work throughout the pandemic situation, they may also get a boost. And then I have recurring stimulus payment, $1,000 to $2,000 per month. That's at 0.1%. I don't think Trump is talking about that. That is just simply probably not going to happen unless we see an overwhelming rise of cases and America needs to re-shut down. But it doesn't look like this president is going to do that. And your payout timeline. So take a look at July. There's the June job numbers. That's today. We took a look at that. Senate is going to be on break for a couple of weeks. Then they're going to come back from the 20th to the 24th. I think that the Senate is going to debate and discuss and finally create and vote and pass something by the 24th or maybe the 25th. Then they're going to have to send it off to the House. The House is also going to have to pass it. This might be a problem because the House might not like what they're doing, but they may pass it. If they can pass it by the 30th or the 31st, then the president can sign it either on the 31st or on August 1st, whatever he would choose to do. And if this is the case, if it goes down like this, which is, by the way, the best case scenario right now, because this could easily go into August. It can't go too much further than that because the United States of America needs stimulus money right now. So it can't go too much further, but it could go into August. But under this scenario, if they include another direct payment to the American people, when will you see your check? You will see it in your account on either the 12th, the 19th, or the 26th of August. I'm picking Wednesday because that's the date that the Treasury picked before. And so I'm going to pick the same one. So that's my prediction right now. If they include the $1,200, when it's going to happen. New chart, new update, talking about Trump. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and that it was very informative for you. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you agree with me on the Trump situation, on the analysis of what he was saying? Was he talking about payroll tax cuts? I think he was. Or was he really talking about more than $1,200 to the American people? Was that what he was actually saying? Was he talking about recurring payments? Is that what he was really talking about? Tell me your thoughts below. I think it's payroll tax cut. Also, the unemployment boost is going to continue, and we've given you our thoughts for the date when the stimulus payment is going to hit your account again. As always, if you enjoy this, consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to have you come along with us. I will catch you guys next time.